I want to invite my good friend Pep Rosenfeld to the stage, and he's going to take you through the whole conference and announce all the speakers. And again, I hope you have a great time. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Boris, I noticed you said that they could tweet you for toilet paper. You didn't then also say your Twitter handle, I noticed.
I did not. No.
You didn't? No.
No. I learned politics in these past 10 years. It's Boris. Just add Boris. And seriously, I'll come help you.
That means that Boris joined Twitter before every single person in Russia, which is very impressive.
It's also very inconvenient because like once a day I'll get a tweet for either Boris Yeltsin, Boris Johnson, Boris the Band, or a couple other 100
Yeltsin
Borises.
was not psyched. He was like, I am Boris 229? No, niet. You're excited.
I am, very much.
You're relaxed.
Yeah. I'm also slightly relaxed. Under the surface, of course, I'm,
Well,
but
Boris
yeah.
has delegated all the stress to me, so it's a pleasure. It's like we're inside the little girl's head and inside out, and he's joy, and I get to be stressed today, so it's awesome. I'm also the shorter one. I don't know if you've noticed that. It comes up here quite a bit. Boris, I'm super psyched. We've got a great lineup of stuff in this room, and then there's like so many other rooms that I don't even want to talk about because I kind of want you guys to stay here all day. We've got a great thing going on. I want to tell you, and then you can go, Boris, but we have so many wires on us now, and some of the wires are, they're trackers so that the lights can follow us automatically. The robot lights can follow me and Boris. I kind of want to test it a little bit, but you know the singularity is approaching when the robots are controlling the lighting, right? Donald Trump will come here and build a wall to keep out the robot Mexicans, which I'm excited about.
Actually working.
It works.
It is working.
I don't know. You're not lit right now.
No?
The robots.
All right. Well,
that robot is fired. Boris, I'm super psyched. I'm ready to let you go off and do what you do best, which is shake hands and drink beer. So please.
And smile. Thank you.
No, go start another conference. Boris. I am super psyched to be here. It's the third year I'm part of the Next Web. For those of you who don't know me, which is probably a few, my name is Pep Rosenfeld. I'm the co-founder and creative director of Boom Chicago, which is a super high-tech comedy theater here in Amsterdam. I came here 20 years ago for the same reason most of you did, for the drugs, but I made it work for me. I made it work for me. So let me just say this to all you out there for whom the drugs are just kicking in. You did not time it right, because the light show does not happen again. The light show, which made me want to come out and say, welcome to the Cirque du Soleil. Best part of the whole light show was watching the blog table over there totally not responding. Totally looking like the Mac commercial from 1984 before the girl came in with the sledgehammer. Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to dive right in because today is going to be a day of creativity, inspiration, wild ideas, connections. Things are going to catch fire in the room and outside of the room, and nothing begins a day of intense innovation better than rules and numbers. So I'm going to jump into those in a sec. First, I want to tell you about something pretty cool that happened yesterday. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a hackathon yesterday as part of the conference. And if you're next to someone who smells like they haven't showered in 6 days, you are next to one of those hackers. The hackathon had a surprise visitor, which was Travis Kalanick. Now, I don't know if you know, Travis is the CEO of the company that brought most of you here today, Uber. So, and Travis was like, oh yeah, I'm in town. I've got a zillion things to do. I'll drop by the hackathon because I love hackers. He was supposed to stay 20 minutes. He stayed an hour and took questions and just sat around. And then he saw that they had these super cool Next Web jackets. And this is a story, not a plug. Don't buy the jackets. He insisted on getting one. So if you get into an Uber and your driver is wearing the jacket, it might be Travis himself, which I just think is an awesome thing. And if you are a woman who travels alone and you are hit on inappropriately by your Uber driver, please think fondly of Travis and how awesome he was with the hackers, and then report and sue the driver anyway, that son of a bitch. Okay. There are a lot of numbers today, and interestingly, the one that you might be interested in, because Boris had time for breakfast, some of you did not, there are going to be 20 curated food trucks. And the curated is key. Please don't think that any food truck dude can drive up. There is a huge honing. Patrick and Boris taste each sample from the truck. They love it. They report to me these were good enough. Those trucks make it in. 20 curated food trucks. The LED, or do you say LED, light show, there are 2.3 kilometers of LED lights in the room now, which I think is somewhere along the lines of this as your small intestine. So if you could replace your small intestine with those LED lights, you too could have an awesome light show inside you. I see now that did not make sense. I'll work on that for later. This thing, so Patrick and Boris 11 years ago, by the way, coincidence or no coincidence, the Next Web Conference is 11, and Josephine is 11. And by the way, another round of applause for Josephine. Fantastic. Coming up here, talking about what your older self was going to be like. I can't help but look and go, wow, when my younger self was 11, there was a lot more watching TV and playing Atari than giving awesome speeches in front of people. So great job. And hopefully when your older version of yourself is up here, you'll go, wow, 30 years ago there was this dude named Pep on stage, and I remember him as funnier than he was. That would be great. But the place is beautiful. It did not take one day like it took Patrick. It took 8 days to build, Patrick and Boris, it took 8 days to build this thing up, and 500 people all working together. 8 days. For people of my religious persuasion, that is one whole Passover amount of time. That is one whole Hanukkah of time. That's a lot of time it took. And just imagine to build this whole thing with no leavened bread. Okay. Last year was huge. This year is 3 times bigger than 2015. That's enormous. And what that really means is there will be, over the next 2 days, 20,000 unique visitors to the Next Web. How awesome is that? 20,000 people. It's amazing.
Are you sure about that, Pep? That sounds like you're just towing the Next Web party line.
That may well be. Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Freeman is here with us today, so he'll be making us feel just as comfortable as you always feel when the voice of God is speaking to you. So that's a lot of folks. So we want to, there's so much social things happening. We want you full of social media. I do want to tell you about the Next Web Snapchat that's happening. Now, for those of you under 30, you're like, oh, that's the Snapchat, logo. And for those of you that are over 30, you're like, what a cute ghost. So the whole event is being Snapchatted. It's being periscoped. I think people might be taking photographs. But they're very proud of the Snapchat. Snapchat, it's not just for naughty pictures of yourself that I can't describe in front of Josephine anymore. But you can follow it all. You get social. The hashtag, which I'm surprised is not everywhere right now, hashtag TNW Europe. And the Wi-Fi is free, so get on there, get social. If you can't get on the Wi-Fi, this is not the conference for you. You should be somewhere else. Maybe curating food trucks would be a nice job for you. So there's so much going on, I can't even keep track of it myself. There is an app. You can download the app if you have not done it yet. It's super easy. Just pull out your phone. If you got an iPhone, then just look at the App Store. If you got an Android phone, then look at the Google Play Store. If you got a Windows phone, just look over the shoulder of someone with a real phone. Well, yeah, it's not. It's. Then I said that joke when we were running. I was like, is it available on Windows? Because I'm going to make the joke anyway. No, it's not. Okay, good. So obviously, get on the app, get social. Sharing is caring, but there are a couple of please don'ts. So first of all, please don't get on the Wi-Fi if you're not using Wi-Fi. Like, don't just oh, I'm on first, I'm staying. You don't have to be there. It's going to be there when you're done. But there's only so much bandwidth in the world, unless there's not. I have no idea. I don't know how it works. But But I guess it slows everything down. So just don't, if you're not on it, you don't have to be on it. That's fine. Don't use Wi-Fi if you're Dutch and you've got like an awesome unlimited data plan. Don't just get on because like, well, screw my data plan. I've already paid for it, but I'm letting Boris pay. There's no reason. If you're from out of town, then we don't want you to, pay crazy roaming fees. Though thanks to Nelly Cruz, they're a lot better. God bless Nelly Cruz and screw the telecoms. But don't if you don't need the Wi-Fi, you don't have to be on the Wi-Fi. And speaking of using the Wi-Fi, this is not the place to like hide in a corner and start streaming Game of Thrones and downloading video. Like we all know that's uncool, right? By the way, if you've got Spotify and you don't have a premium account, again, this was an expensive ticket. You should think about how you allocate your resources. We ask that you do not download unnecessary photographs of Boris's mother. There's a lot of them out there. Please don't download them unnecessarily. If you have unique photos of her, you feel free to upload them, but please don't download them. And I think that's and so make sure that you put the I in Wi-Fi. And I think that either means one of three things. Either be responsible, I take responsibility for my Wi-Fi, or even if you're Dutch, just say Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi sounds like a dummy. And I think the third one is if you are saying Wi-Fi, don't put the E in until later at the party. The funniest thing is only the Next Web staff is laughing at that, and they're laughing hard. A little too hard. So super big lineup, great speakers, great content. But then afterwards, the fun does not end. That's when the real networking begins. And by networking, I mean drinking and eating. And it happens tonight at the street barbecue that's going to be happening outside. It is going to be awesome. It's going to be delicious. It will be a street barbecue outside. Tonight, that's me cueing the slide. Tonight, there's a street barbecue outside. There you go. We made it. We made it work. That's fantastic. So you know about the street barbecue. It's not, that doesn't mean that you eat food you find on the street. That's a totally different dining experience. So that's what you have to expect. And it's a pretty awesome set of stuff. And again, download the app if you were not listening to me, which I totally would understand. You've got a lot to think about. We are getting ready to dive in, and we're going to move right in to our first speaker. And again, it's going to be a mix of speakers and dialogues and roundtables and presentations. But we begin with Adam Lebson. Now, he is a product marketing and communications strategy specialist. And I want to read this directly from his bio because it was great. His strategies and work have been featured in Fast Company, Wired Magazine, the Harvard Business Review, CNBC, and the New York Times. And he's been listed on several lists about people who do things. That's the most awesome thing you could have written on your own bio. Please welcome the COO of Giphy, or do you say Jiffy, Adam Lebson.